first thing that I noticed in this, of course, it's talking about wisdom, hokmah, right? And it's talking about counsel, but this time the word is different in Hebrew. It's tabun. And so I wanted to look that one up and say, okay, well, what is this? Tabun, this counsel that it's admonishing us to have, that we are being told this is important. It's an intelligence, an understanding, an insight, right, into the way things should be operating. Okay. So I was like, all right, where else do we find this word used? Well, we find it in Exodus 31, 1 through 5. And this is the Sefer. And it says, and Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying, see, I have called by name Betzalel, the son of Uri, the son of Hori, of the tribe of Yehuda, and I have filled him with the Ruach Elohim in wisdom and in understanding, okay, uh, and in knowledge, and in all manner of workmanship, to devise cunning works, to work in gold and in silver and in brass, and in cutting of stones, to set them, and in carving of timber, to work in all manner of workmanship. So when I went to find, where where tabun was used, this counsel, it's an understanding, right? So I looked that up, and the Greek equivalent there is logos, which I found very interesting. And so Thayer says that logos is a word that is uttered by a living voice. All right. It's the living word of Elohim. This is Yahusha speaking to us literally out of the pages of our Bible, so that we can have wisdom and insight and understanding. So a word uttered by a living voice that embodies a conception or an idea, the sayings of Elohim, like the Old Testament prophecy given to the prophets, right? That their word was living, thus saith Yah, right? So this is interesting. Hebrews 4:12 uses this, and it says, for the word, the logos of Elohim, is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and ruach and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and the intents of the heart. The other thing that this particular proverb is recommending that we get is discretion and knowledge. So discretion here is the Hebrew word mizimah, and the Brown Driver Briggs tells us it's purpose discretion. It can be used in a positive way and in a negative way. In a positive way, this mizimah used for Yah's kingdom, it gives us discretion to know good from evil, to know right from wrong. In used by the evil kingdom, it is what enables them to develop plots and devices to trip up Yah's people. So it's interesting sometimes when you look at the antonym and contronym of the different words, what you'll see. Now, knowledge is da'at, and it is, according to Brown Driver Biggs, knowledge, perception, and skill. So that's what that one was talking about. Now, it goes right away into warning to stay away from the lips of the strange woman. Okay, so who is the strange woman? The strange woman is a zur in Hebrew. Okay, it is a Zion, a Vav, and a Resh. The etymological dictionary, because this is a primitive root word, says it's something that has been separated out from others. Okay, it doesn't necessarily belong to others. So what does that mean if it's something that's separate, a foreigner, something strange? Okay, so I wanted to look in the Brown Driver Briggs, something that has become estranged. All right, so I mean, this takes me right away. Something that's become estranged. I think of the principle of epigenetics, right? I look at two nations being born in Rachel's womb. Okay, so I'm seeing a lot of different connotations there. This goes really deep. So the Brown driver Briggs says it's something that has become estranged, a strange woman, a zur. It's a stranger, a foreigner that is loathsome of breath, strange woman, a prostitute, a harlot, right? And this is Yah's accusation through his prophets, is that Israel as a nation has chosen the way of harlotry, that they have become a prostitute. They've become a harlot in his sight. They're not being faithful to him as their husband. Right. So there's all that. But you look at this, something that has become estranged, right? That's chosen the wrong path, that is loathsome of breath. And what is that? Of ruach, right? The spirit of that person, that entity, that thing is something that is loathsome in Yah's sight. So I found this word used here in the Torah. And so I always find this interesting when I can find something used in the Torah portions. And so this one is in Exodus 30, verses 6-9. And it says, and you shall put it before the veil that is by the ark of the testimony, before the mercy seat that is over the testimony, where I will meet with you. And Haran shall burn thereon sweet incense every morning, right? When he dresses the lamps, he shall burn incense upon it. And when Aaron lights the lamps at evening, he shall burn incense upon it, a perpetual incense before Yahweh throughout your generations. Here's the admonition for the priesthood offering sacrifices. They're to be sweet incenses that please Yah. And here's what Yah tells them. You shall offer no strange incense thereon. There's the word, no zur, right? Nor ascending smoke sacrifice, nor oblation, neither shall you pour drink offering thereon. He's saying, I don't want you doing any of this. I don't want you going after paganistic practices. This has been, think about the story of Balaam, right? He couldn't entice them any other way except he couldn't curse them, but he could entice them by sending in alluring, strange woman, the zur, to draw them away from Yah through sexual appetites. That's always how it is, right? Proverbs 5:4 says, but her end, like when you go after that, her end is bitter as wormwood, as sharp as a two-edged sword. So I found this very interesting. The end is the akarit, right? End of time is what that word means. Bitter is mara, like bitter, as in being contentious and rebellious, right? There's a rebellious aspect in this. This is exactly what happened with the B'nai Ha-Elohim, who saw the daughters of men and decided to come down and offer gifts into knowledge that they were not supposed to have. The same thing that Hasatan did in the garden with Eve. Here, you can have, we'll share this with you. If you if you'll mate with us, was what the B'nai Ha-Elohim did. If you'll mate with us and bear children with us, we're going to give you secret insight into the way things work. We're going to help you see beyond the veil, help you see the things that have been hidden from you, so that you will become like us, B'nai Ha-Elohim. It was all a big fat lie. It was a trick. It was deceit. It was trickery to trip up the human race. It leads to death and destruction, which is the same end that they have because of their rebellion. Okay, so this is what we see. There's Marah, the end of this thing is going to be bitter. It's a contentious, rebellious. It is and this rebellion, this bitterness is sharp as a two-edged sword. So this really surprised me, because the word sword here is K in the Hebrew alphabet, which means it's your mouth. So you could say, but her end, the very end of all things is bitterness, rebelliousness that is as sharp as a tongue. Well, how can that tongue be sharp? And they're using two-edged. So what are we looking at except the tongue of the snake? The split tongue of the snake. So, all right, I have a few more things to show you with this. Okay, so now let's look just a little bit more at the Torah so that we can see where this is going. So what has happened here? We get an example of those who go after this strange fire. Numbers 3:2-4 says, and these are the names of the sons of Aaron: Nadav, the firstborn, and Avihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar. These are the names of the sons of Aaron, the priest, which were anointed, whom he consecrated to minister in the priest office. They were in charge of the priesthood. The high priesthood always comes down from Aaron's line. Remember, all of the priests are Levites, but not all Levites are priests. They had different positions within the tribe. And if you want to learn more about that and how it even relates to our physical cardio system in the body, look at my teaching that I did on Levi and the cardiovascular system. All right. So, and Nadav and Avihu died before Yahweh when they offered strange fire before Yahweh. It was a rebellious fire. There was something in that was not right. So the only thing that can tell me that I can see in this is always going to a paganistic worship practice that they drug in before Yah. That, it is so offensive to Yah. He did what he did for us to redeem us back from the hand of the enemy. To all those who will obey, it says he literally descended into the depths, right? And took back the keys of the kingdom, making a show of those powers and principalities openly. They are the rebellious ones. Okay. They are the ones that are the authors of a strange fire. It's an unacceptable offering before Yah, because it's what Hasatan has wanted all along, the worship of people to himself. Okay, so Nadav and Avihu died before Yahweh when they offered strange fire before Yahweh in the wilderness of Sinai, and they had no children. And Eleazar and Ithamar ministered in the priest office in the sight of Aharon, their father. So they were promoted